Hi guys, welcome back to In Case of Econ Struggles and welcome to another macro struggle. Today we are talking about the goods market equilibrium on Bill's Coconut Island. Specifically, we are going to talk about the following questions. We're going to talk about what Bill can do with his wages. We're going to talk about what the firms can do with their profits. Then we're going to get into what the real interest rate is on Bill's Coconut Island. We're going to talk about how investment and savings relate to the real interest rate. And then we are going to talk about equilibrium in the goods market. So timestamps are below. Feel free to jump around. Let's get a quick overview of where we are. We are trying to build up this ISLM model. The ISLM model is made up of three markets: the asset market, the goods market, and the labor market. We are talking about the goods market today. We've talked about the labor market and Bill's Coconut World intro in previous videos. And then we will talk about the asset market and the full-blown ISLM model in future videos. So let's go ahead and get started. First, let's think about Bill. Here's Bill with his fun little hat. Bill has just walked out of the office with his bag of coconuts, and we're trying to think about, well, what can Bill do with those coconuts? Remember, he's not earning money, he's earning coconuts. So what can he do with the coconuts that he brought home from work? Well, he can do two things. He can choose to eat them, or he can put them in the bank. So those are the two things that Bill can do with his wages. Think of the bank as like a seed farm where you can put seeds into the bank and other people can take seeds out of the bank, use them, and then repay those seeds later. And that is exactly what Meg is doing. Remember, Meg is the person who owns the firm. She's also a household. She doesn't earn a wage. She gets the profits the firm makes. So she is the last one to leave the firm, and she basically takes home whatever coconuts are left. That's her profit. It's a profit worth of coconuts. She, very similarly to Bill, she can either eat those coconuts or she can invest in the firm, meaning she can try and either take classes on coconut picking. She could try to plant some coconuts so that she has more coconut trees to pick in the future, but some sort of investment. Now, what is the real interest rate on Bill's Island? Now, when we think about interest rate, you might be thinking of your bank account, and every month they pay you a tiny bit of money for you to keep money in the bank. That's exactly what Bill is facing. So the real interest rate for Bill is the amount of coconuts that the bank is paying Bill for Bill keeping his extra coconuts in the bank. It's like, hey, Bill, we want you to put your extra coconuts in the bank and not bury them in your backyard. In order to get you to put them in the bank and not in a hole in your backyard, we need to pay you a little bit. And that little bit we're going to pay you is the real interest rate. Now for Meg, Meg might want to take out some loan of coconuts if she wants to plant some more coconuts, or if she's got to pay for a class in coconuts. And so for Meg, the real interest rate is the amount of coconuts the bank charges her in order for the bank to loan Meg some coconuts. And basically Meg is going to pay that interest to the bank, and the bank is going to pay the interest rate to Bill, again, all in terms of coconuts. So now let's think about how Bill's saving decision depends on the real interest rate. So let's go ahead and draw a nice little graph. We'll put savings on this axis, how much coconuts he wants to put in the bank, and we will put the real interest rate right here. Now, if you remember in the labor market, we talked about the substitution effect versus the income effect. And the same situation is going to be happening here, where the substitution effect would say that if the interest rate goes up, that Bill wants to put more money into the bank because now it's worth more for each coconut he puts into the bank and doesn't eat. And the income effect would say that the real interest rate going up would imply that Bill wants to save less because maybe he wants a certain number in his bank account at all times. The interest rate goes up, then he can put less coconuts into the bank to hit that amount tomorrow. Now, just like in the labor market, we assume the substitution effect dominated. We are going to do the same thing here. Substitution effect dominates. Voila, we have a nice upward sloping savings curve because as the interest rate goes up, Bill wants to save more. Now, with Meg, remember now the interest rate for Meg is a cost. It's not a benefit. The interest rate for Meg is the cost of borrowing coconuts from the bank. So let's put I over here and R up here. And I think it is clear that if R is a cost to Meg, that she is more willing to invest if the cost is lower, which means that the interest rate is downward sloping like this. Now, just like in the labor market, we now have our supply or our savings and our demand or our investment curve, and we can throw those both together on the same graph. So here's our downward sloping investment curve. Here is our upward sloping savings curve. We're going to get to a nice equilibrium right here, where this is savings equals investment, and this is our R star. Now, let's say that Bill decides for some reason, maybe he makes more money, maybe he gets a bonus at work. So this period is going to put a lot more money into the bank. So at every interest rate, Bill is putting more money into the bank. So this savings curve goes out this way. So if this savings curve goes out this way, we're at a new savings curve. It looks something like this. So I'll call this S1 of R. Now we are going to move along the investment curve to this new red dot point. This is our new equilibrium when savings went up. So here is our new S1 equals I1. Notice that the interest rate falls. Now, why does the interest rate fall? The interest rate falls because if Bill is putting more money into the bank does not need to pay Bill as much to get him to put those coconuts in the bank because Bill is kind of doing it anyway. So the bank can get away with paying him a lower interest rate. And that's exactly what happens. So this is the goods market on Bill's Coconut Island. If it was helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time for another case of Econ Struggles.